Alan, good to see you. How have you been?
Doing well. How about you, Andrew?
Good. I'm doing fine, thank you. We are approaching quickly the Angelus Press Conference for Catholic Tradition. That is coming up here in Kansas City in October, and wanted to chat with you specifically about this because this year's theme is on vocations, and you are the vocations director for the U.S. district. So could we talk a little bit about why I would presume that the planners of the conference at Angelus Press have talked with you and said, hey, this is important. This is why we're doing this conference.
Right. Well, this year, the Jubilee year, 2025, for the whole society, our Superior General, Father Pagliarani, has asked us to emphasize vocations, preaching about it, encouraging vocations, giving conferences, writing, etc. Any way that we can this year in particular to bring this idea of vocations to the forefront, into the minds of people, and to get them thinking about it, praying for vocations, and doing what we can to encourage the pursuit of vocations.
We are facing, I think it's fair to say, a pretty stark crisis in the number of vocations. There are different studies, different numbers. We've done some stories on this on fsspx.news recently, where in England, in the United States, it seems to be that there's a slight uptick, but essentially broadly, and even including the United States, if we look at the last 30, 40, 50 years, there has been a plummeting of vocations. Is this the bigger crisis, or is it the crisis in belief? Like, how does this compare in terms of kind of all the different crises that we're facing in the church right now?
Well, that's a complex question.
It's a really complex one. So
there's certainly the crisis in vocations goes very deep, but there is definitely a loss of the sense of the importance of holiness and the religious life. That of those who take the three vows, their whole purpose is the pursuit of holiness, and for the priesthood, the whole purpose is to be able to bring others, to bring the faithful to holiness. And if you have no sense of that, who's going to want to do that? And then there's this kind of leveling down of making the priest into a man like any other man. And if there's nothing special about the priesthood, why would anybody do it?
Right. You and I talked about this in some detail when we did our vocations series. I think it was back in 2022. You can find it on YouTube. But just the sense of needing to keep that traditional sense of vocations alive is so important, and especially with the emphasis on the traditional mass. It seems that, at least in my experience, and you tell me if I'm wrong, it seems like the most of the priests that want to say the traditional Latin Mass, who are interested in tradition as a whole, have that real sense that the priesthood is something special and something important.
Undoubtedly. And the whole orientation of the Mass, every aspect of it, shows you that the priest is something important, that he's the one there who is strictly necessary for the offering of the sacrifice, and the faithful can't have that sacrifice of our Lord Jesus Christ present without him, and they can't have the Blessed Sacrament and Holy Communion without him. And that's very clear from the liturgical setting, from the structure of the Mass, so it naturally, so to speak, or co-naturally promotes the sense of the specialness, the uniqueness, and the beauty of the priesthood.
Yeah. Moving to the conference itself, there are going to be many speakers, lots of topics, and it's going to be over 2 days. Is that right? 2 days of lots of speakers talking about this broad theme. What can you give us a little preview of what you're going to be talking about, or have you finalized it yet, or do you have rough ideas?
I have at least rough ideas.
Okay.
So the conference isn't complete, but my theme is the role of the school in promoting vocations.
Oh, fantastic!
The role of the Catholic school in helping to bring the students in particular to that consideration of their state of life.
That's great. There are going to be other themes as well about the role of parents, the role of society, etc. For those who may not have been to an Angelus Press conference before, can you kind of give us a little sense of what it's like and And I know it's a little bit different because you've generally been going as a speaker in years past, but
Mhm.
what is the conference like? Is it just like classroom sessions? Is it fun? Is it at all enjoyable other than sitting and listening to Father McFarland talk, which is of course undoubtedly educational and fun too
Yeah, for everybody but me, maybe.
for
But
everybody.
uh, yeah, it is. It's a pretty intensive conference schedule. There's a lot of information coming at you from a lot of um, different directions, different speakers focusing on different elements of whatever the theme is, and of course this year vocations. Uh, and so it's intellectually stimulating in that way. There are always new things to think about, but it isn't just a kind of classroom. It is it's a very social event, and there are those kind of specifically designated social times, but just the interaction with people uh, between the conferences, during the breaks, meeting people, or reigniting old acquaintances with people from all over the country, like-minded people interested in the same things, interested in the fight for Catholic tradition, interested this time in the promotion of vocations. So it's always something I found as a speaker, and when I have attended, I attended as a seminarian, I attended as a priest, just going to listen to the conferences and so on. I've always enjoyed it very much. Um, usually a little sad when it's over, but
Yeah.
it's nice uh, to see old friends, to meet new people, and to be in that atmosphere of serious traditional Catholics, thinking about, talking about, and working for the advancement of the Catholic faith.
Yeah. We get we get in the US district on YouTube and on podcasts and things like that. We get a lot of comments from people who are like, "Oh, I listen to the podcast or I watch the videos or whatever." And live in a place where there's not a traditional mass around, or I don't live next to an SSPX chapel, and I kind of have to go without, and I don't really have a Catholic community around me. I would suggest that for people who may be in that position, this is a great opportunity. Let's say your work circumstance doesn't allow you to live in a place like that or something like that. At least you've got this kind of little time warp island of a few days where you can be surrounded by like-minded people, and this is going to kind of help bolster you for the next time that you visit a nearby chapel or something like that. There really is a sense of community in these conferences.
Right. And when you're by yourself out in the world, you can, start wondering, am I crazy? Am I the only person
Right.
doing this? And to have that contact with other people doing the same thing, having the same struggles, making those friendships that you can then keep up after the conference, of course. Yeah, it
Mhm.
can be a tremendous support for one's Catholic life. And the
Yeah,
whole thing
for
is
sure.
it's a great encouragement that there are, so many people doing the same thing, of like mind.
Yeah. And it's funny. I have friends who, I one-on-one friends with one person, one-on-one friends with another person. Then all of a sudden I'll get a text from them. Last year I wasn't at the conference, like, "Hey, Andrew, and then, but all of a sudden all this kind of triangulation starts to happen of people who know each other. And it's a small community. It's a small world, the traditional Catholic world, but it is nice to kind of make a lot of those connections and get to know people. And then, like you said, foster those friendships. Um, what else happens at the conference? Is there mass, confessions, all that kind of stuff as well?
Yep, every morning before the conferences get started, Mass and Rosary. I believe confessions are usually available as well. Not forgetting that it's our purpose is a spiritual one, first of all, and
Yeah.
so to begin the day with that is certainly an important part, uh, if not the most important part of the conferences.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, any other thoughts that you have about the topic of vocations and its importance? Kind of an open ended question here, but the stakes are so high though, with the loss of, and again we've talked about this in multiple podcasts before. This sense of wanting to give of yourself, of people wanting to really pick up the cross, follow in the footsteps of our Lord. That is lacking, and hopefully we can see some tangible results with this conference.
Right, and I think a big part of our problem, and we've talked about this at length, our fundamental misunderstandings involving vocations is everybody thinks it's all on God's part, right? And of course, he's first cause. In a certain sense, it is, but he's expecting our cooperation, and that's our cooperation for those who are considering now the choice of the state of life, those who are in a position to have an influence on those who are considering their states of life, parents, teachers, priests, religious, and for everybody, to think about the this work for vocations as being something that there's a certain responsibility in varying degrees on every Catholic, everyone to pray for vocations, to everyone who's able to contribute financially to the promotion of vocations, and everyone to have it on their mind as an intention, and to take the opportunities that they have to encourage young people to consider it, to work in that direction, to encourage them to overcome obstacles when they present themselves, and so on. And so to have those people in positions of authority, especially, have a greater sense of their responsibilities, but to give them also some ideas of how all this works, to help them to get the young people where they need to be, is a big part of what this conference is aiming at. It's I think that the subtitle is a shared responsibility. That is where we all have this responsibility to do what we can wherever we are to promote vocations, because they're necessary for the life of the church. It's not, it's nice to have priests and religious if we can. It's if we don't have Catholic life without them.
Right. And this is not just a conference for people who think they may want to join the priesthood, join the religious life, etc. This is for everyone. Again, like you said, shared responsibility. This is important for everyone in a position of authority, or even as a friend, or again, everyone's going to touch another soul, or 50 or 5,000 at some point in their lives. And we need to know how to help encourage vocations instead of possibly sabotaging them or just being neutral about them. Let's definitely not sabotage, but let's try to encourage. Instead of just being neutral about it.
And most people are parents or will be parents, so that's already a sphere of influence in which you want to be able to have the right principles and the right ideas for promoting a good choice in a state of life among your children, and even for those who don't, or who won't, or for whom that ship has sailed, their children are already grown and established in their states of life. Again, they're good reminders of the principles, and there will be opportunities in everyone's life to influence, at the very least, by prayer and sacrifice, this question of vocation.
Absolutely. Father, thanks for taking the time to chat with us a little bit about it, doing a little bit of info about it. And we're looking forward to seeing you in Kansas City, October 16th through the 19th.
Sounds good, Andrew.
All right. Thank you.
God bless you.
You too. Thank you for listening to or watching the SSPX podcast. Please keep in mind the best way to help more people see these videos and to hear this podcast is to subscribe on YouTube, or subscribe on your favorite podcast app and rate or review wherever you listen. Also, please remember, this is an apostolate. It's free to listen or to watch anytime, but we also need your help. Would you please consider submitting a one-time donation, or sign up for a small $5, $10, or $20 a month donation at sspxpodcast.com? This helps us to continue this important work of sharing the beauty and the truth of traditional Catholicism with as many people as possible. Until next time, thank you for listening, and God bless you.